Welcome to Soul Night Live, episode number 123. Today, our guest is Jon Anderson. Thank you for taking the time to be on the show today. It's good to have you back. We spoke, about 4 years ago when you were doing Thousand Hands. And a lot of cool stuff has happened since then to catch up on. So thank you for dropping by.
That's true. Very true.
First, I wanted to wish you a belated happy birthday, 80th birthday. That's amazing. I was curious how you spent it and if you got anything cool as a present.
Oh, yeah. I had a really wonderful time with my grandkids and then with good friends. And I've got lots of things from my birthday. I can't remember them all, but I'm very, very happy about everything. And the best birthday present actually is the album True, doing so well.
Absolutely. Well,
Getting
I've got a
good.
copy right
Oh,
here,
good,
and I
good.
love it. I think it's fantastic. It's kind of the record I was hoping you would make, and the Geeks are just amazing. It sounds like you
Yeah.
found the perfect band. I saw you all this summer down in Peachtree City, down here in Atlanta.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, it
I
was a
remember.
wonderful, very intimate little venue there, and
Yep.
it was just a really inspiring show. It was great to hear all those classics, and even more exciting, it was great to hear the new music. I'm
Yeah,
really
you
loving it.
performing the songs from the 70s was just so wonderful on every kind of level. The fact that they could play the music so well, and I was up there singing the songs and realizing there was an audience there that know all the music of Yes. So,
Oh yeah, I mean every note, every word, and I got to say their attention to detail is really stunning. It's
yeah,
you hear everything where it should be, and they had their own flair to it too, which kind of brings it to another level. You could tell that they are so excited and just
yeah,
loving, and the energy coming off the stage was so positive,
very true.
very inspiring. So I wanted to ask you a couple things before we talk about the album. I was wondering, what are your plans for next year? Is there any chance you'll play more shows with the band? Is there
Yeah,
possibility of a follow-up record possibly too?
yeah.
Yes to all of that. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm thinking about some. I was fortunate enough to record a lot of music on a cassette
I remember
many
those.
years ago, many years ago, and just listening back to the songs that I recorded that never got finished or produced or anything, it kind of made me think, okay, these songs could really work. So it's only a question of timing, like anything. We spoke. I spoke with Richie and the guys about, well, let's get out there in the spring where we can do the Yes songs we love plus the songs from True album. That would really work, because there's something about the idea of new things being performed on stage because you are very committed to making sure they're good, making, making sure they sound good, everything.
Absolutely. Well, it'd be great to hear a few songs that maybe you hadn't got to yet in the set that next year. You know,
Oh, you never know though.
yeah, that'd be fantastic. Well, I know how you guys got together, and I just think the Geeks are amazing. They really are great about reproducing classics, but they also are great writers and arrangers in their own right. And I was curious, a lot of these songs, like some of these things are things that you had worked on previously that you brought to them to finish. Am I right? Like some of these things go back a few years, and other
Yeah,
things were totally fresh.
yeah. There was, counties and countries I've had for many years. I just had this guitar version, and it stuck in my mind that it could be a good song. And I just sent that to Richie, and he developed it into what it is, and blew my mind. Oh my God!
It blew mine when I heard it. It was
Yeah,
just like, this is like, it ticks all the boxes when it comes to
yeah,
an amazing little progressive epic.
yeah.
And it just, I love music that surprises me. I want to be
True,
surprised, and there's a lot of surprises in these songs.
true.
And speaking of True, the title of the album, what was the inspiration for the title?
I keep singing about it. I keep singing True true this and true that. And it comes from way back when I was happy to spend time in Jamaica. I was Bob Marley kind of freak, and you hang out with Rastafarian people in the coastal southern coast of Jamaica, and every time they're saying true, you know, how's it going? True, man, true. Everything good? True.
Yeah, well, I love the positive
Tequila.
connotation.
Yeah, I better turn this off actually.
I
Sorry.
kind of like the little background music.
I'll play them.
I was wondering if we could talk about a few of the tracks in particular. You had
Sure.
mentioned counties and countries. I was curious about Still a Friend. Is that about anybody in particular?
No, it's funny. I go for my long walk over the hills here every morning, and I play the music just because I'm still enjoying it very much. And then when it comes to Still a Friend of Mine, I'm actually subconsciously holding hands with Alan White and Chris Squire, you know, because we were together for years, and that's what probably the song is about. You know, you never lose your friends, really. You know, stay true to your friends.
Absolutely. Well, I think it's got a great message, and I think it's a good one to maybe share with someone that you haven't talked to in a while, also. So I would suggest that to our listeners to maybe send that to an old friend that you haven't spoken to in years and just remind them that you're still a friend.
And still alive.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I wanted to ask about the big epic, Once Upon a Dream. That
Yeah.
one, did that take a while to put together? I mean, being such a big piece of music, or did it come together pretty quickly?
Well, the interesting thing that we realized it was easier to Zoom with each other. Every Tuesday we would Zoom for 2 or 3 hours and work on what we were doing because Richie and the guys, they all live in West Coast.
Mhm.
Tequila.
Can you
I
play
always
that
say
on the
that's
harp
fine.
for me?
No, no. So basically, we Zoomed, and that was a very good way of. We were still on the same planet. We're still in the same sort of room together, like we are now, and we were able to modify ideas along the way. And I think that was you couldn't do this 4 years ago, 5 years ago, when this technology hadn't come through, that everything was in perfect time with each other, whether you're here or in the middle of China. You know, now we can actually work in tempo with everybody and create along the way, and that was definitely a boost for me because I got to know the guys very well before I actually met them. You know,
Hmm.
because we didn't, you know, we had to get together initially, and so we did a little bit of working out before we went on tour together. This is like a year ago, over a year ago. And you get to know people, the vibe, the energy. And we just did 12 shows, and that was a good start. So making the record was the next step.
Yeah, well, I love it, and I'm just it's got such positive energy. You know, I just want to thank you for so many years of really positive music. You know, you have lifted my spirits so many times, and I really appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, it's the first time I saw Yes. You know, I'm in my mid 50s, so the first time I actually saw them was the 90125 tour.
Right.
And I remember walking away from that experience and several other Yes concerts later where I felt like it was more than just a concert. You know, it almost felt like I went to a cosmic church and you were the preacher. Do you ever feel like a preacher when you're up there sharing
No,
your positive gospel?
well, sometimes you get a feeling that we are a unified energy. You're on stage performing, and you can sense the energy of the audience at certain times, and there's that point in time where you just feel like made it right. You got it. You got the high notes. You got the energy, like the middle of Awaken. You know, it's a very delicate idea. And then when we were doing Close to the Edge, you know, it's like there's a I get up, I get down section, and you got to go for high notes, and you're just waiting for it to happen, and you sense the audience that are waiting for it to happen.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
it's
you
such
get
a
it
big
right,
moment,
you know.
you
Yeah,
know,
you
just
get it right, and then the big church organ comes in, and it's a great feeling to know that. I mentioned it many times, but Sibelius became my favorite composer in the 70s, and his Seventh Symphony was structured so beautifully that I listened to it over and over again. I had a beatbox in my suitcase and had a cassette of the Seventh Symphony, and realized that most symphonies are in three sections, but this one was 26 minutes long or about that, you know. And I just felt like I'd been on a dream of sorts. And that's all I started talking to Steve about that time. We need to do a piece of music that you get lost in the middle and come back at the end and everything works out. So,
oh yeah,
and here we are with Once Upon a Dream, which is basically the same concept structure.
very much. And it reminds me a bit of some of the things on Tales, you know, the beginning kind of
Yeah,
chant kind of bit.
yeah,
Reminds me a bit of Revealing Science.
yeah.
And it just goes some fabulous places. Can you tell me a little bit about Build Me an Ocean? That's such a beautiful little tune.
Oh boy, Jimmy Hahn. I've known him for a long time, and we've written half a dozen songs together. And that was one of the songs that I always remembered because um, I got the music he sent me. This is probably 5, 6 years ago, and I just sang the song. And it's a rare occasion when the lyric came at the same time, you know, and you sort of sing it and go and sit back and go, well, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
that's the
what
one.
am I singing about again? You know, it's like, but there are some lines in it which are really, together we will build the answer to all the dreams. You know, it's like, build me build me an ocean so I can deliver. So many, yeah, build me an ocean of energy so I can deliver through that the idea that we will always have the same dream, if you like, of a beautiful world. Because that came around in some other songs, the idea of let this be Eden, remembering that the Earth Mother needs a little bit of comfort and help via the human experience in order to create heaven on earth. You know, these are not cosmic things, but the ideas that pop in my head. That's what we look for. We subconsciously look to a future before it's happened, and when it happens, it's like a present.
Do you feel like sometimes you get a glimpse of the future?
That's a good one. I'm always in the heart, always hoping for the best for everyone around the world, and for the monumental wars that go on are kind of very structured by the companies that make the instruments of war, you know, basically. And
Yes.
they're
It's almost like a
and
business.
right, oh, big time. So the idea is always praying for peace, and you know, always when we're on stage, we give peace a chance. I'm always John Lennon. Thank you, John.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What advice could you give us in these troubled times that can kind of help us get through this mess
Ooh
in a
la la.
positive way?
Well, breathe slowly. and deeply, and know that everything will work out. Everything will eventually work out. It might seem chaotic at times, but eventually things work out.
Yeah. Well, I know in my heart it will, and
Yeah,
that's the place it starts, I think.
true. Very true. Very true.
Another quick question. I've never heard anybody mention this, but what was the inspiration to use the Firebird Suite as walk-on music? When did
Oh,
you first
yeah.
do that, and whose idea was it? I mean, you could have picked any classical piece. Why that one?
Well, I started the idea. We were on tour, and I found also spoke Zarathustra, which was the opening music to 2001, I
Oh yeah.
think. And we used that, and it worked. And then about a month later, the Rolling Stones started using it.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah.
So I thought, oh, damn. And then I was listening at that time to the Firebird, and remembering the ending was always like a very organic empowerment of musicology, if you like. And then wouldn't it be great if we come in on stage and walk onto that music then? And that's what we started doing.
Yeah, well, it's become synonymous with the beginning of a Yes show, and you're using it now with your shows as well. And I think that's great.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
I get a lump in my throat when I'm side stage, getting ready to go on stage and think, here's that music again. It's so beautiful. And we're ready. The audience is ready. You can sense it, and you jump on and get on with the
Yeah,
show.
you just know that something wonderful is right around the
Yeah.
corner.
Yeah.
There was a few years when you swapped it out for Benjamin Britten's Young Persons Orchestra.
Yeah.
Was it just like, hey, let's try something a little different this year, or what?
That's it. That's all it was. It was it's a glorious piece of music, and it didn't do the same thing as Firebird. So we tried it for a month or two touring, and it was okay. And a young person's guide to an orchestra. It's a beautiful piece.
Yeah, it's a nice piece. I think you used it on the Tormato tour, and then again with
Yeah.
ABWH, if I remember right.
Well, there you go. You remember more than me.
Yeah. So it's popped up a few times, but I think the Firebird's the one that we think
The
of
one.
most.
It
Yeah,
works.
it really is.
Yeah.
It really is. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. Do we have a little more time, or? Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Well, I also wanted to just ask you about, your conception of these pieces. Do some of these things come to you in dreams? Do you ever wake up and with a song in your head that's new?
This morning I was washing up and I was hearing this music, and it's something to do with, again, it's Sibelius's Second Symphony, where the third movement starts off with such an incredible da-da-da. I can't sing it. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da, like full orchestra. Da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da, that kind of thing. And this was a Finnish person, Sibelius, but he liked drinking. I remember.
Well, so
So and now and again, words come up in your mind as you're walking around. I love doing my walk every morning, and things pop in your head and think, should I try that section of this piece of music and this piece of music here? I've got this piece of.
love it,
It's my
love it.
cassettes full of music,
Yeah.
And that's a
So,
MIDI guitar that I was testing out, and bring on the day. I think it starts. Bring on the day. Come on, I'm ready.
well, that's a positive way to get things going.
Yeah,
You play guitar for decades now. What does it mean to you? Is it just a songwriting tool, or is it more?
yeah. I'm not a very good guitar player. I have chords that I remember playing and saying to the guys in the 70s. So I've got this idea. It's like just yours is no disgrace. Can't remember the words now.
Oh,
But it's
Picasso,
just,
Picasso.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
There's one.
Wow, you're way ahead of me.
And I also was just kind of wondering, it's a funny thing, but every year I host a night of progressive rock where me and some local musicians cover some of our favorites. And each
Yeah,
year we do a set of Yes. And this
right.
year I had the urge to do Future Times Rejoice, which I think is such a wonderful tune and one that I don't think Yes touched since 1979. I was wondering if you
Okay.
had any memories of writing that one and any feelings about it all these years later.
Well, if you do play it, please send me a recording for me. Because
Really? Well, I could do that. I could do that. I flubbed a couple notes, but forgive me, it was a lot to memorize.
no, no, no. There was one song that popped in my head. Da, 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 da. So it's like a. Oh, I've got lost now.
Yeah. But you know what I was really impressed with is the lyrics on the Tormato album. You create such stunning visual scenes lyrically with them. Circus of Heaven is a great example.
Oh yeah,
I just
that's a story actually from a book. A story about a circus from heaven that came in the village up in Central America. And
okay.
I think it was made into a movie at one time or something like that.
Really? We'll have to dig
Yeah,
into that.
yeah.
I'd love to check that out. Yeah, I just love the visual quality, and then the fact that this adult is talking to his child about what they consider to be a cosmic circus, and the child's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it didn't
Ah,
have any of the things I'm expecting. You
that
know.
was my son Damien at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to be coming here tomorrow. I think he's 50 years old now.
Yeah. Well, you should surprise him with some toffee apples.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No doubt. Well, I was just curious if there's anything you'd like to share with our audience and anything you might want to get them ready for next year.
Well, it's great to be talking to you and sending love and higher aspirations for the future of the presidency in America because I am an American now, so I am totally into a clear pathway to the next month or two or next year.
Yeah, well,
Everything will work out, and pray for enlightenment within the halls of the White House.
yeah, well, fingers crossed everything works out for the best.
Yes,
That's,
please,
yes,
please.
exactly. Well, do we have a little more time or you have to hurry off to another?
Maybe just one more. I don't know what time it is now. Oh
Okay,
yeah,
it's
one more.
about 25 after, so I don't want
Yeah.
to keep you too long. What do you, just during the day, what do you listen to just for enjoyment?
Again, I've been listening to the Second Symphony of Sibelius, and whenever I need a sort of relaxation, I just put it on my cassette, my iPhone, and just dream away.
Oh, I love it.
There's
Well, I'm
just
gonna have to,
something about his music that's magnetic. And I'm rereading Carlos Castaneda at the same time. So I was listening to Sibelius in the 70s, and here I am hundreds of years later rereading Carlos Castaneda,
okay.
which is great, a great read.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show again and catching up. And, again, thank you for so many years of positive energy and enlightenment. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Well, give my best to your wife and family.
Yes,
And we hope to see you out on the road again next year.
on the road again.
You just
Yeah,
can't wait to get on the road again.
I know.
Well, I can't wait to see you on the road again. So much love
Take
to you,
care.
John.